Hello everyone, this is Fiona Dayquester back with more Dragon Quest VI 100%. Joining me today is Dark Knight 97. How are you doing today?
What? I'm not that.
Dark Knight, you sound different. What happened?
Well, I'm not sure to be honest. I'm just a new guy.
Whoa, your accent is a lot better. Did you know that?
Yeah, I sure do. Notice that.
Anyways. Dark Knight is in India, I'm in America, and, by the way, you're supposed to buy those royal clothes before talking to this guy. But anyways, neither of our connections were very good. Because of that, it meant I had to do a lot of editing in Audacity just to make everything flow right. And eventually it just got to where the guy would drop, like, several minutes at a time. So, you know, he was fantastic, but I had to go and get someone else. Hence my friend Skyzo here. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Hey, YouTube.
I am doing well as well. Now, for some reason you gotta talk to this prisoner guy. I'm not exactly sure why, but you have to do that in order to go to where we want to go, which is upstairs.
This game reminds me of Zelda.
Yeah, and this game's kind of bad about its sequence triggers. It gets more obvious about it as you go along. But yeah.
If there's any like tricks or glitches, just like let me know.
I will do so. Also, I like this guy's lines in the remakes. Like, he asked if he'd eat a slime if the Prime Minister ordered him to. Also, make sure to get that silk robe. You're not going to be able to come back to this room for a while. And the silk robe sells for some money. Uh-oh. Is that the Prime Minister?
So that's the Prime Minister, right? The one with the glasses?
Yep. Uh-oh. He looks as different as Skyzo sounds. Also, how well connected is this guy? He instantly figures out who we are, and has connections to the local shopkeeper. You can't buy anything without the minister just popping in on you.
I'm imagining that the guy with the robes is a king, right?
The guy in the bed?
I mean, like the one with the purple robes.
Purple robes? No, he's the Prime Minister.
Oh, okay. Then who's the one with the glasses?
Glasses. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
The one with the red robes. Bottom left.
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
I thought he was the Prime Minister, to be honest, but...
Well, anyways, we'll look back on that once the recording ends. At any rate, the next thing we have to do now that we got kicked out is go to this inn and talk to this merchant guy, because he's got some ultra-powerful stuff to give us as soon as we listen to a story. Alright, story time's over. Let's buy our stuff.
Oh, okay, I thought you was gonna give it to you.
Anyways, the Thief's Key was something we bought and sold a few episodes ago, and we're gonna need it later. But the primary attraction are these silver bracelets, or gold bracers as they're called in the remakes. They are ultra-powerful pieces of equipment for this point in the game, plus 15 defense for only 350 gold, which is really good in comparison to most of the other stuff available to us. So make sure you get that. Also make sure you get the poison knife dagger up here. It's a good single targeting weapon for melee, and it'll also sell a lot later. Now, of course, if you were fighting more random encounters, you would want to sell it for a Thorn Whip, slightly weaker, but it targets groups of enemies. Not quite as many as all enemies like the Boomerang, but still pretty good.
Your narration for this is just so good.
Thank you. Also, that medical herb and fairy water, not strictly necessary, but it's still early in the game, may as well show you. Now, what else is there to talk about?
Movement here is very optimized. At least it seems like that.
Yep, that's part of why I don't record these live. When I record them off stream, I get to optimize them like that, and makes everything super clean. I like clean.
So do you save state to like...
I do.
What do you do?
I don't use them to manipulate luck, though. That's cheating. I just use them to make it clean and professional looking.
I thought you actually used a task, but...
Technically I do. It's hard to explain. What I do is... So like, I load a save state when I fumble movement, or when I do something like, I give a weapon to the wrong person, or something silly like that. It's tool assisted in that way.
But on
What?
A more basic level, I should say.
Yeah, it's tool assisted in that way, but it's not tool assisted in the way most people think about it, where I'm pulling off all sorts of insane tricks, doing things normal players would never do. It's not tool assisted that way.
I don't know too much about this game, but I can imagine you would have a lot of very difficult tricks, or like something that's insane. But I might be wrong.
It's not in this game. You just have to really know how monsters act, how they think, and which moves are better than others. It takes a lot of knowledge, maybe not a lot of skill, though.
Yeah, I thought so. So this game it's more like about just optimizing your movement, where you can like do that.
Yeah.
It's less about dexterity and like skill, and more about optimization, but...
Also, now that we are done collecting our hero tax and raiding everyone's houses, as heroes do, we are now gonna sleep in the church's bed. We are very proactive heroes. Now, one other thing I should mention. The waters of Amors that we're getting, those are actually pretty important. It's a mid-heal for people who don't know mid-heal. That means it restores 60 to 80 HP to whoever uses it.
So it's essentially a potion.
Yeah, essentially a potion. A strong potion. Stronger than herbs, which only give 30 to 40 HP. Uh-oh. What's up with the water, Skyzo?
I don't know, but it looks like something ominous.
Whatever. Let's go shopping first. Now, we only want to buy one thing here. We want to buy a battle axe for Carver after selling off a lot of money. No wait, giant hammer. And that's gonna pump up his attack, which is good because it's the only weapon he's gonna have for a really good long while. It's worth the purchase. And now that all of that is out of the way... Oh, whoops. Few last things to get. An Usamimi band, or bunny ears, for our girl Millie. It's one of the only pieces of headgear she can equip. And a third Water of Amor inside here, for a total of 3. Super important for one of the hardest bosses in the game, who's coming up about oh, I'd say 3 episodes from now. So for you viewers, keep that in mind.
This game looks really pretty, actually.
It is beautiful. Arguably better looking than the remakes, honestly. Certainly sounds great. Nut of Life, make sure to give that to Carver once again. And don't worry about that lady. We'll take care of her later. Now, what you want to do is you want to run. I sold one of the hero's weapons, the boomerang, because we're going to get a stronger boomerang very shortly. And these metal slimes, these are very important for today's episode. They have a 1 in 3 chance of running, but if you can kill one of them, you get 1,350 experience, which is like 26 times the amount you would normally get from a random encounter. So we want to kill at least one. Also, since you're new, I'm shuffling people around depending on what items I'm getting from chests. That's because it takes a while to transfer one over to the other. The remakes aren't so bad about that, but Super Nintendo, it's kind of clunky.
So, this is a remake, right? So imagine that the original tricks would be different.
No, this is the original version. The remakes were on the DS and iOS, Android, mobile.
I thought this was a remake because...
Nope.
It just looks like it. Looks very polished.
It just came out of the womb that beautiful. Anyways, I made a big mistake by running away from these encounters. The metal slimes are kind of tricky to kill, so even though it is worth hunting them, I only need to get melee to level 7, and that's something I can get just from regular encounters in a reasonable amount of time. So if you're playing along with me, make sure you kill the monsters that you encounter here. Don't just run away from them. I hadn't really realized that until after I recorded things. Now, that said, hunt around this floor, that's where they show up the most. Nope, still not there.
What are you... You're trying to level up, right?
Yes, I need Millie to get to level 7 so she learns an important spell.
Okay.
Still not there. They're not that rare, but, you know, you can get unlucky.
So something that I noticed is that you mentioned something about manipulating luck. So are you suggesting that with the, like, for example, the correct amount of inputs, you can, let's say, get an encounter early, or like manipulate the encounter rate, something like that? Is that possible?
No. This is just luck. Now, these metal slimes. Make sure that when you're attacking them, the hero doesn't have the boomerang equipped like I did. Whips and boomerangs, they're hard-coded to never score critical hits. So even if you land them, they're not as good as regular weapons for metal hunting. And furthermore, if you fight a metal slime in a group, and they're not on the leftmost spot of that group, the whips and boomerangs won't hit them at all. It'll just always do 0 damage to them. Again, those are lessons I didn't really learn till afterwards, so make sure to keep that in mind and make sure the hero has, like, I don't know, a stick or something to re-equip. There's outside. That's the one we wanted to get. It lets you get out of dungeons instantly. Also, those Moko Mokos, I think they're called Rotten Cottons in the remakes. Normally pretty easy, non-threatening, but they do have one move, Body Slam. It instantly deals 80% of your HP and damage, while also reducing them to 20% of their HP. They don't do it too often, but one thing you want to watch out for.
Something I'm curious about is whether there's any chance that, let's say you get an encounter and there's a chance that something like in Pokemon, when you speedrun the game, there's if you get really unlucky, the enemy lands a couple critical hits on you, you can the run can just end right there. Is there anything like that in this game?
Very few moments. There is one really hard boss fight coming up in about 4 episodes from now. He's tough enough to beat that he can kill you if you don't do some tricks in the remakes. And grinding long enough to where he's a guaranteed win takes longer than it would to just attempt him multiple times. You'll see him in episode 7, but apart from that, no. Anyways, this guy, he's pretty easy, a little annoying, but because he can confuse you, but so long as you get upper on everyone and increase their defense once, he's pretty non-threatening. Don't get 2 uppers on them though, because then he has a chance of not doing any damage. And the only way to snap someone out of confusion is if the enemy hits them. Then they have a chance of being no longer confused, like you just saw there. Just minor optimizations to make things slightly faster.
He reminds me of Goban, actually, from Pokemon.
Yeah?
You know, making you confused, doing the same abilities.
He does, doesn't he? I hadn't thought of that. Also, here's Iria, the guy the woman thought she killed, but fortunately, we're gonna put a smile on her face. Unfortunately, the game requires you to see the cutscene, so it's not gonna let you use outside like it normally would. It does, however, get rid of all the enemies, so we're gonna take this chance to pick up some chests. Very convenient, that.
But I just realized, this is it's only a portion of the game. How long is the speed run?
Well, if you're going for really ultra fast strats and, you're better at the game than I am, probably around slightly under 7 hours, maybe under 6.
7 hours?
Yep. RPGs are, well, let's just say there's a reason I fast forward through a lot.
I mean, for the most part, there's no fast forward active, so...
Yeah, I just figured I'd skip through the things that are really boring, like when you're just running back and forth through the same location over and over again. You don't need to see that.
Why would you want to do that? Maybe a glitch?
No, I just don't want my viewers getting bored.
No, I mean, why would you run back and forth? What's the point of that?
Oh, like when the game makes you. How in Pokemon sometimes, you get Oak's parcel, then you have to go back to Oak, then you have to go back to Viridian.
Oh,
just
right.
Backtracking.
But you have no way to... You don't have any way to fast forward or anything. You have to go back at, walking speed, right?
Basically. So I just fast forwarded in post.
Oh, okay. So this is not even the emulator doing this. It's editing.
Yep. Anyways, I should talk about the speed ring. Actually, I can save that for next episode, but suffice it to say, it's really good. Also, something interesting happens here from a story perspective. This woman, she saw us in her dreams. She was the woman with the sword in the cave that was complaining about the blood. But we helped set her dreams at ease. So what happened in her dreams sort of affected her in the real world. So what happens in the real world can presumably affect you in your dreams?
Reminds me of...
Yeah?
I'm actually reminded of a quest in Skyrim where there's like this god of nightmares where you have to drink like a potion, you can walk, like when you walk in a dream, you walk like in the real world. Something like that.
Indeed, that's pretty much exactly how it works. And that has implications for a certain character about 30 episodes from now. I will call back to this moment later, but for now, this has been Fiona Day Questers signing out, and God bless you.